What other games are there to talk about?
Okay.
Other
Welcome
than-
back. Campus Clubhouse, episode 3.
We made it
We're
into the
back.
top 10% of podcasts ever.
Let's go.
Let's go. No one, only 10% gets episode 3, I think.
We made it big.
We did it. We're going to talk about this week. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that happened last week, week 0. And then probably spend the bulk of it just breaking down week 1 matchups. It's probably one of the best week 1s we've had in a while, at least that I can remember. Just a ton of good matchups. And then at the end, we'll make some national championship picks and some award picks for the end of the year, just kind of full season picks and see where we are. Ben, I'll let you break it down. You got some, especially your crush on Rocco Bex and
Yeah.
your pick last week with Iowa State.
Yeah, I think we should start there, seeing as I'm the only one that went 5-0, clean sweep on the picks to start
Yeah,
week.
because you're autistic. Shut up.
No, we'll start with Iowa State and Kansas State, given that it was the only ranked matchup in week 0, out in Dublin, out in Ireland. Huge crowds and rain, and it was an ugly game in the first half.
How about the start to that game?
It was
terrible.
awful.
The field was brutal.
Honestly, I didn't even realize it until I looked back at the box score. But Avery Johnson's box score and stat line does not reflect how he played in that first half whatsoever. Like, the first half was fucking atrocious.
I mean,
And
Smitty texted
just
us and was
fine.
like, "Yo, he has like 24 passing yards."
Yeah.
And
No,
that
there was at one point he had 6 carries for 13 yards and a rushing touchdown, and he was 2 of 7 for -3 passing yards. And it was tied. It was tied 7-7. I was like, what is going on?
I will say I do think the second half of that game was very good to watch. And still not the best football in the world, but for week 0, like in another country, weather, everything going on, I think the second half of that game was very good.
It was good entertainment, 100%.
But it was awful football to start.
I wish it wasn't raining. I
Incompletions
think
left
that would have
and
changed
right.
that game completely.
I mean, fumbles left and right. I mean, they fumbled at the 1 yard line, then threw it.
Yeah.
And it was bad.
Yeah, it was ugly. And
Breaking news: Travis Hunter is going to be a dad.
Really?
Yeah, I just saw.
With that chick that's trying to take his money?
Yeah, not sure if he's the dad, but he's the mom, so she's going to be a mom.
Jeez. That's nuts. Yeah. Well, I think that Iowa State Kansas State game was just like a good way to start the year. Before we get into probably a couple of games this week that have game of the year potential between Texas and Ohio State and Clemson and the LSU. I think both of those games have game of the year written on them. But like Iowa State, Kansas State kind of just shows that last week we were talking a little bit about how the Big 12 doesn't really have that national identity that teams in the SEC and ACC and Big 10 have. And by ACC, I mean just Clemson. It's like you could easily tell that neither of those teams, despite being at the top of the Big 12, have any chance of winning a national championship.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was just messy. I mean, there's a whole lot of factors. I mean, of the games that have, I mean, this is what the second year the game's been played out there. Even though the game last year was Florida State, Georgia Tech, like that game was kind of messy too. I feel like it's just hard to ask kids who aren't professionals, especially that these kids aren't even like at these schools. There might be a couple, but across the board, probably not like the marquee players talent wise. And you're just asking these kids that are between 18 and 22 and maybe older with everything that's going on now to go over and travel to another country after most likely like having school for 1 week and then like literally like leaving and going to another country and then having to play a football game. Like it's a lot to ask. It's a cool idea. I don't know that I really understand the thought process behind it, but
Why is it in Ireland? Like, is there a reason?
I mean, I have no idea, but it has to be a money grab, no? Because why?
It's got like pisses me off that it's in Ireland.
You're not selling tickets for that game though. Like the stadium's not going to fill
But,
up.
like, is
'cause people in
Ireland-
Ireland
is-
don't really care.
But
that
like,
much.
if
You're going to make your
Ireland
money
is
off the
paying for it,
sponsorship,
or the stadium is paying for it,
You're making
or
the money off
whatever.
the sponsorship.
Yeah, I don't get it. It seems useless.
Just like the naming rights, I'm sure.
If I was an athlete, I feel like if it's a big game like that, like if I'm playing a pretty decent rival at the beginning of the year that I know that game's gonna have end of the year like significance, I'd be kind of pissed.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. Especially given the fact that they're playing on a soccer field too, which is
And it's like it's a conference game. Like at the end of the day, like with
That game, I really do think that game is gonna have large, like it's gonna hold significance at the end of the season in the Big 12 with how jumbled up those top 5 or 6 teams.
like I think Kansas State is a team that could end up almost like running the table from now on in the Big 12 and like looking back and being like, wow, we're really not in the Big 12 championship game because we lost a week 0 game in Ireland. Like,
it was brutal.
but good on Iowa State for finding a way to win that game.
yeah, somebody had to.
Yeah.
I don't know that either of them really truly deserved it, but
I don't know if either team was trying to the way they were playing.
But other than that, I guess the other week 0 games. I mean, Arkansas State gave UNLV a little bit of a scare.
Idaho State.
Yeah,
It's not Arkansas State.
Yeah, Idaho State and
Idaho State.
It was honestly
The two
Alex.
You
You
got-
talk
you
about the
got it.
quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Alex Orji and it starts with a C.
Calandria.
Calandria, yeah, the kid from Virginia. They both were not very impressive. Calandria was more like I liked Calandria more in that offense than Orji, but neither of them knocked my socks off.
Yeah, what I was gonna say that neither of them were very good, but I do hate offenses that do this, but their 2 quarterback packages and plays were kind of fun to watch. But if it was my team, I'd be pissed. But because neither of them were good, and in my opinion, as a coach, like however hard of a decision it has to be, your team needs 1 quarterback. In my opinion,
Really,
Just from a leadership standpoint, I feel like.
but the packages were kind of cool. I mean, they ran the reverse deep ball. They got a PI that they ended up scoring on that drive, and they ran some other cool packages with 2 QBs. I don't think that offense sustains you a winning year.
UNLV got bailed out big time in that game because the Idaho State kid at quarterback, Jordan Cook, like he looked far and above like the most talented player on the field, and then just in pressure situations threw the ball away. Like he had 3 picks, and I'm pretty sure he had a fumble too that he lost.
Yeah.
So turnovers lost him that game, but Idaho State lost. UNLV did not win that game. Idaho State lost.
Yeah. Seems to be a general theme of the week 0 games.
Yeah. I mean, Stanford
Also-
went and lost.
Yeah.
Hawaii did not deserve that game either.
That's a big win. No, big win.
Don't say that ever again.
Yeah, that's why.
Freaking awesome.
Even though it was bad football, to me that was like, it was still a pretty entertaining game. Kind of like you said with
It
Iowa.
was
And,
entertaining because it was close and like
That
obviously.
interception at the end of the game, I think it was safety coming down, maybe linebacker, but that was sick.
Off the
Like, that
edge.
was such a night. Yeah, that was a sweet play.
That was pretty cool.
Like
Um,
completely changed the game.
The kicker story for Hawaii, he's got a pretty cool story. So hearing that, I was definitely rooting for him to make that kill.
Hawaii
He's
had
related to Maddox too.
Hawaii had a Stanford transfer wide receiver that caught a touchdown as well to open up the game. I think that's a cool storyline.
Yeah.
No, that the pneumatics. That's pretty cool.
The other thing I'd say about week 0, Jay Lynn Daniels, right? That's Kansas.
Yeah, with an O.
That dude might single-handedly take that to a Big 12 championship.
He looked really
It
good.
was awesome, dude. That was fun.
He was 100% the best quarterback week 0.
He
was 18 of 20, 2 touchdowns in the air and a touchdown on the ground.
Like I know he's.
maybe.
I mean, that when they played Colorado last year too, and he went off. Him and their running back went off.
Yeah, no, he's definitely
Yeah.
he's one of the top
Best quarterback in the Big 12.
close. I mean, Sam Leavitt.
Sam Leavitt. I'm
Avery-
still pretty high on Avery Johnson personally.
I think
but
Jalen Daniels is better than Avery Johnson.
I mean, week 0, Jalen Daniels looked like he was
Obviously
forced to
playing
win, but
different different opponents, but
he looked really good getting out of the pocket. Looked really good setting his feet, throwing the ball downfield.
because he's a
Athlete, and that's just what they do. Athletes. But he looked really, really good. I'm excited to see how Kansas shapes up the rest of the year, and good for them getting a win like that. I mean, like that's a huge confidence booster, especially with the new stadium. Shout out Kurt Warner's kid playing quarterback for Fresno State too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the other game was that Western Kentucky, Sam Houston State game. Just ton of points.
Points. Western Kentucky's quarterback was
said that
the big passer on the weekend. He had 400 yards, 3 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground.
Seems to be a thing at Western Kentucky. You remember when
Bailey Zappi broke the record.
Yeah.
She got picked up by I think he's going to take over Shadur's spot. QB3.
Picked up again by the Browns.
Yeah, he's on the practice squad.
Nice. Good for him.
The Browns are
Okay.
Well, we can use Shadur to kind of segue into this week's games if we want to start off with GT in Colorado, because Colorado just named a starter this week.
Yeah, we can jump into that game.
Yeah, they named Kaden Salter.
Kaden Salter, the Liberty transfer.
Liberty transfer, straight out of the
over the 5-star Julian Lewis.
Mm-hmm. I think that's big. Deion's getting an experienced quarterback who knows how to win in a system like that. It should be fun to watch, but they're matching up with Georgia Tech, who is one of my sleeper picks for an ACC championship spot this year. I think Haynes King really knows what he's doing with the ball in his hands. He's old as fuck, so that helps.
He's very old.
Yeah,
I think it's also like just that game's like it feels like experience versus inexperience. Like Colorado is not like past just Shador and Travis Hunter. Like they also lose Jimmy Horn, and like there's just the receiving core is up in the air, and like I don't really know how it's gonna work out for them, like receiving wise, and like
Jack, you want to say
Sean?
No, it's Jack.
Same person.
But obviously, Kaden Salter's proven. But
yeah.
I think what they have around him. I trust Haynes King. I feel like Haynes King is enough to kind of go in there. I don't think Colorado's going to be that good this year, and I think Georgia Tech is solid. I think the running back's solid too. So,
they brand new defense for Georgia Tech. That's
yeah,
my concern. Brand new defense with transfers and just people who didn't play last year, plus a new defensive coordinator. Plus, I believe this game in Colorado.
Yes.
I think that helps big time. I just don't. I think I'm a big Deion guy. I think people are underestimating them a little too much. I do think he's a decent coach that I think can win games like this. Can he win the big one with their roster? No way, in my opinion. But I think games like this, like I think Deion gets the boys hungry enough to take it.
They got a chip on their shoulder as well, because a lot of people aren't projecting them to win a lot of games this year, so they want to go prove some people wrong. The dog story compared to the past 2 years with how much hype they had with Shadur and Travis Hunter.
I mean, Colorado's defense has just been. I mean, they've been bad, and now they're losing their best corner, and they're going up against a quarterback that I think is pretty good. So
I think their front seven will be better this year, but I think their secondary will be rough. But I do think they'll be able to get better pressure and stop the run a little bit better than they did last year. But I agree that Haynes King definitely has the opportunity to throw the ball all over the yard on Saturday.
Yeah, 100%.
To be fair, is not necessarily his strong suit. So
no, it's not his game. He has shown that he can sling it just enough to put his team in a position to win. And he's a gamer too. Like he'll figure it out as he goes. Experience is going to help Georgia Tech in that game a ton between Haynes King and Jamal Haynes in the backfield with them. But you go ahead and pick that game real quick.
Yeah, I kind of said I got Georgia Tech. I think Haynes King and the running back Jamal Haynes is just going to be too much.
Yeah, I also got Georgia Tech. I just don't think Colorado is going to be all that, and Georgia Tech's decent, like you guys mentioned. So I think Georgia Tech's going to win.
Yeah, I'll go with Georgia Tech as well. Kind of for what we've just been saying, but I mean, I'm really big on Haynes King. I think he's top 5 quarterback in the ACC this year. So
Dion, baby.
should do.
In Colorado.
All right.
Okay. Next we'll jump into some of the bigger matchups for the week. We'll start with the big one that everybody's talking about. Ohio State, Texas in Columbus, week 1. 2 new quarterbacks.
Yep. Got
some
it.
experience on both sides, but there's a whole lot of gaps to fill.
Yeah, we finally got a
Manning
start of Ryan Day, Julian Saint.
Julian Sand versus Arch Manning. I don't know. There's a lot to fill on both those rosters. I think it's an interesting matchup because there's just a lot of unknown. Obviously, you expect teams like Texas and Ohio State to just reload every year because they have talent, probably more talent than anybody else in the country between those two rosters. Running back at Ohio State is interesting to me. Obviously, 2 high draft picks and losing Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins. I think that'll hurt them a little bit. But then again, you look at the other side, and Texas lost Jaden Blue. They bring back
Couldn't Travion Wisner back, but
yeah. But Jaden Blue was kind of their speed guy. So it'll be interesting. They've obviously Ohio State brings back probably the best offensive player in the country. Definitely the most talented player in the country in Jeremiah Smith.
Question of whether or not Saint's going to be able to get him the ball, given the fact that he's going to be doubled up pretty much the whole game.
Yes, that he will. But I think Ohio State's receivers is definitely their top 3. Or Carnell Tate's no joke. I think he's kind of been slept on just because he's had to wait so long behind. He's been there a couple years and he's been behind Emeka Egbuka, and then he's been behind Jeremiah Smith. I think they've had this run of wide receivers that they've had really is kind of rivaling that run of receivers that LSU had, kind of just producing talent. And I think Jeremiah Smith is probably the best one for Ohio State. And then, he's a sophomore. So I think that the talent that they have at receiver is going to be plenty good if they are able to take Jeremiah Smith out of the game. I think those other guys can do enough. But I also like the secondary at Texas does worry me.
Yeah, I'll say the thing with Texas is with Jeremiah Smith, like a player like him, they're going to have to go 2 high safeties, which just opens up basically the rest of the field for, Carnell Tate, the other dude. So I don't remember his name. My bad. Sorry. But
I think there's going to be a defensive-driven game. I think both because of the inexperienced quarterbacks, because it's the first game of the year, because, in my opinion, 2 of the best defensive players in the country between Caleb Downs and Michael Taff, or Taffy, I don't know how you say that.
Also, Texas's edge rusher.
Yeah, Colin Simmons.
He's
very
good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a defensive-driven game. Whatever offense, I'm sure you could say this for like every game, but whatever offense doesn't turn the ball over as much or has just maybe gets into field goal range once or twice more, just sustains drives a little bit longer, not even just touchdowns, but just sustains drives, I think wins the game. And I think Ohio State being at home helps them with that even more.
Yeah, I think the other big thing with this game is kind of with defense is being able to run the football. Obviously, Ohio State slung the rock last year with those receivers that they had, but a lot of it came from the fact that they were so explosive at running back with those 2 guys.
Nobody was able to empty the box on them because if they did, they would just hand the ball off to the best running back in the country and just let them go out.
So I'm interested to see that this year. I'm worried about Texas's offensive line. Kelvin Banks Jr. was awesome, and they run so much of those like spread zone run plays that just ate up Clemson last year, and you watched it personally and just really ate up everybody. Is just kind of spreading those defensive linemen out and making those linebackers fill those gaps. And Ohio State's going to have the talent to get off those blocks, and with guys that haven't necessarily done it and aren't as experienced, I worry about that. And kind of Texas's offense even more than Ohio State's, revolves around their ability to run the football. I mean, they run so much of their stuff is play action and Sark doing all this misdirection to get guys open. I mean, you saw it all, like their triple play action reverse that they ran last year. That, like, I mean, they do all this stuff, but then all of a sudden, if you have guys that can't block and you can't do any of that misdirection, you're not going to have time. So I think they got to be able to set the tone and run the ball early in that game to be able to set up their play action pass and everything else that they like to do. Which part of the reason that I lean Ohio State. I think I trust their offensive line better to kind of set the tone and kind of get Julian Sayin comfortable in the game. And then again, like the receivers, if somebody does need to go out and make a play, Ohio State's bringing back the best receiver in the country, and Texas lost their guy. I mean, Matthew Golden's gone. So it's just, I think it'll be, that side of it will be interesting. But I, again, think it's defense. I trust Ohio State secondary better because they have Caleb Downs, but I probably trust Texas's front seven better.
Matt Patricia is also a very good hire. Obviously, slightly biased as a Patriots fan, and he was there for so long. But I do think that his system is very good, very aggressive. I will say though, they will be very aggressive. They're going to try to take the ball away a lot. But I think their defense, obviously talented wise, is there, but I think their scheme will also just be slightly better. The other thing I'll say about this game is obviously it's a if statement, but if Arch Manning goes in and wins this game and they most likely become the number one team in the country, like his hype, it will probably be up there with Shadur's the last 2 years of like one of like the biggest stories in college football. Like,
I mean, he already is the Heisman.
I think he already was the Heisman favorite.
If they win
this game,
I think it validates it if he wins this game, especially in convincing fashion against how good of a secondary that Ohio State has. Like, obviously, Caleb Downs is the best defensive player in the country, in my opinion. Yeah. But Ohio State returns 3 other guys that got significant playing time last year, with Igbenusum being a starter, Jermaine Matthews and Jalen McClain all coming back. That's 4 dudes in the secondary that Arch is going to have to like game plan around without established weapons on the perimeter for him. So I think that's a really tough ask, and especially given the fact that now it's not Jim Knowles commanding the defense, it's Matt Patricia, who wants the OSU secondary to go get picks and go get takeaways like he did when he was in New England. Like, I expect Manning to have a tough time getting things going, especially downfield. Probably going to be a lot of short routes, under routes, stuff out of the backfield. Like,
I think it'll just be Sark's scheme. I mean, they run a ton of screens, ton of misdirection, and then kind of like lull you to sleep a little bit and then take the big shot. Yeah. But they do rely on big plays. It'll be interesting to see if Arch has the composure and on the road and his really first big start to be able to kind of just take his medicine and like take some 10 to 13 play drives and kind of just lean down the field rather than just break open big plays and chunk plays. And that's obviously when Texas is at their best.
He's going to have them to win them. Those long drives.
Long drives off the clock. Don't give Ohio State the opportunity to get back in it if they get up on them early.
Yeah. But I think kind of with what Ben said with validating it, I mean, they got a couple more road tests to finish towards the end of the year, and I think it just kind of gives you even more confidence for them going into those games. I mean, they go to Florida and they go to Georgia. Those are the 2 big ones. But they all of a sudden you go onto the road and you win a game at Ohio State, who's probably more talented than either of those. Maybe not Georgia. I would put them in the same category, but more talented than Florida. It gives you a whole lot of confidence in their ability to go win those games. So I think it's a game that probably everybody's kind of thinking Ohio State should win is kind of the general consensus because they're at home. I think we are kind of all feel that way. But I think it's a game for Texas. It's like Texas can, like, with it being out of conference, I guess it's for both of them. Like, Texas can lose this game and go on to win the SEC, but like, I feel like everybody's just gonna have a question mark for Arch Manning really until they play another big game. If he goes in here and loses this game, like everybody's like there's already been some sort of like people kind of putting the brakes on all the Arch Manning hype, be like, whoa, we haven't seen it yet. And like, even though that him losing his first real start on the road at Ohio State really shouldn't be the measuring stick for that, it will be. If he goes in and he looks bad and they lose his game, even if they lose close, but he doesn't play well, like that'll be the measuring stick. And then he's going to have to kind of work himself out of a hole. So I think with Ohio State, like with Texas, like, I don't know. It's hard to say that a week 1 matchup with top 5 teams is like, but like it's both teams can recover from this because it's out of conference and they're so talented. Like if either of these teams lose this game and then like they both have the ability to go 11-0 the rest of the year, and then you're 11-1, you're sitting in your conference title game and all, like you got just as good, you have a pretty good chance to be ranked in the top 4 going into the playoff, and you're just where you want to be. So it's just an interesting game to start the year. Like it has postseason,
It's got a postseason feel, in terms of matchup pedigree. But at the same time, with it being this early in the season, I don't expect this game to look. I don't expect this game to look like a postseason game.
And I don't think necessarily it will have effect on the end of the year because I think we both know that whichever team loses is still making the playoff.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%. And I think there's some interesting matchup history here too. Obviously, last playoffs, Ohio State wins in the CFP semifinal. But before that, they played a home and home in 05 and 06, and Texas walked into Columbus and won in 05. It was a really tight game early on in the season, and ended up winning it in the last minute and like icing it in the last minute. The following year, Texas gets waxed at home with an inexperienced quarterback at the helm and Colt McCoy. So it'll be interesting to see if Texas can come into Columbus with an inexperienced quarterback and win versus when they came into Columbus in 05, they had Vince Young.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's also interesting that Ohio State, like obviously it's Ryan Day and it's a new coach, but like they've lost some of these big week 1 games that they've had at home that they were supposed to win, going back multiple years. I mean, obviously some of it was Urban Meyer, but like they lost to Baker Mayfield at home. Obviously Oklahoma was really good that year, but like they drop a game to Virginia Tech at home. Like Ohio State is known to kind of like start slow.
Lost to Oregon.
Yeah. Like Ohio State has started slow. A lot of like it's not uncommon for those teams. Like even last year, I would say that like for a long time, people did not really trust Ohio State really until they got to the playoff and just started beating the crap out of everybody.
Waxed
Oregon game. I think it was the Oregon game where people were like, "Oh crap, they're gonna win it all."
Yeah. So I think for Texas, it's like playing in a conference that they are just as good as everybody else, but they haven't really gotten over the hump in that conference. Like they lost to Georgia twice last year when I really think that they probably had a more talented team than Georgia last year. And you lose to Georgia twice, one of them at home. I think it's like it'll mean more to Texas, obviously, I mean, on the road, but it'll mean more to Texas if you kind of like getting over the hump a little bit.
You get your signature win early on in the season, it kind of makes everything else feel a little bit easier throughout the year.
Because I've seen Ohio State start slow and go on and win national championships. It's not like it's really not uncommon for them, but I think Texas, the fan base and people will, if they go in and they do end up getting like boat raced a little bit, which I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think they lose by 10 points in this game. Wow. I just there. I think Ohio State, I trust them to kind of work their way back. Texas, it's just different because I've just seen them lose to Georgia. Like it just last year's just kind of sitting in my mind, a conference that I think they really had control over last year, especially after Carson, like and you played the second half of that SEC championship game with no Carson Beck. And they were like, I kind of trust Ohio State. Ohio State's already there. Like I still fully trust Ohio State. And I'm not like, I just don't, people are all up in arms about how talented Texas is, but really in the big scheme of things, they haven't really won anything yet. Anything that Texas hopes to win. So it's still a little bit of a hump that Sark needs to get over.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think we can probably just move on to the next game. I don't think it's a secret. Everybody here has Ohio State winning that game.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So I think we'll go on to Smitty's favorite week 1 game here. We'll go to LSU walking into Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Nope.
A battle between 2 Heisman hopefuls, 2 best odds to win the Heisman currently, between Klubnik and Nussmeier. I think that's going to be a really, really fun game. But it's going to be interesting for sure. Given the matchup between
It's the night game, right?
Yeah, it's the night game.
Oh,
I'll be in attendance.
Thanks for letting everybody know.
Yeah. What
I won't. Cool.
But it's interesting. Like looking at this game, I don't think this game is necessarily. I think it could, but I don't think this game is necessarily going to follow the defensive script that some of these other games we've talked about have followed. Like even the week 0 games, and I really just think that both offenses in this game are just really, really good.
2 offenses with 2 really established quarterbacks that are gonna let the ball fly.
Put the 2 elite receiving cores.
It's pretty cool because this game and the Ohio State game, it's like polar opposites. It's like legit quarterbacks who have a shot at going literally like 1-1 in the draft. And then, well, I guess Arch Manning has a shot, but like we don't know. So
we've seen Klubnik play. We've seen Nussmeier.
Yeah. It's like it's completely different. They'll both be good games, but
that's why I have some of the best odds to win the Heisman. They put up numbers last year. Obviously, LSU didn't really have the year that they wanted to, but Clemson definitely turned it on at the end of last year. After losing to South Carolina, they found a way to win that SMU game. They played Texas like better than people expected in the playoffs. But Klubnik looked good in that Texas loss, I would say.
Yeah, I'm the most interesting part of the matchup for me, and the thing that I'll probably pay the most attention to is Clemson lost all 4 of their games last year with the inability to stop the run. That was the reason that they lost all 4 of their games that they lost last year. LSU does not really like to do that. LSU is
running the ball a ton.
Yeah.
LSU wants to sling, they want to sling it and around to those receivers and Garrett Nussmeier, and just in years past, that has not really been the plan of beating Clemson. The games that we've lost has been that we just give up 5 yards of carry. Like we're just getting and we can't control the line of scrimmage, and we're just getting run through. This is probably the first game that Clemson has played versus the SEC in the last, I don't know, multiple years that I really think Clemson might win the matchup on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Clemson's defensive line versus LSU's offensive line, and Clemson's offensive line versus LSU's defensive line. I think that Clemson probably should, talent-wise, win both of those matchups, which sets up really well for the style of football that Clemson wants to play. Clemson is going to try to run the ball. They obviously, I think, are going to, just based on the talent that LSU has on defense, try to throw the ball around a little bit with the receivers that we have. But I don't see a winning formula for LSU in this game if Nussmeier's throwing the ball 50 times. I don't see that. I would personally, as a fan, if I see Garrett Nussmeier sitting back there throwing the ball 55 times a game or 50 times in this game, he's going to get sacked 5 times with the talent that we have.
And there's a good chance he forces up a couple of picks too.
Yes. I don't see that as a formula. I think they got to run the ball. And if the Clemson's ability to stop the run is completely up in the air. I would love to say that Tom Allen's going to be absolutely perfect and everything works out how it's supposed to, but it's unknown. That's the cool thing about these week 1 matchups is you really have no idea.
Well, they also ranked 16th in the ACC in run defense last year, and we
were horrible.
No, I'm
horrible
pretty sure they were dead last. But
I think for me in this game, it's three things, and they all go Clemson's way. One, Clemson's at home, which I think this time of the year in these big games is like massive. I think home field advantage in games like this early in the year against a really good opponent, I think being at home is a massive advantage. So Clemson has that. Two, I think Clemson's obviously their front is very good. I think their secondary is slightly better than LSU's. And their Clemson's receiving core, in my opinion, very close, but I think is better than LSU's with Antonio Williams and Bryant Wesco. Shout out Antonio Williams. Love that guy. I think that their experience and their talent is going to be better than LSU secondary. And then LSU, unfortunately, has Brian Kelly, and I don't trust that guy, and I don't think he's a very good coach. So those three factors are why I take Clemson, and I think they win this game because LSU is not going to be able to stop the ball just slinging all over the field in the air. Brian Kelly's going to do something stupid to mess it up. And yeah, that's why.
A good win for Clemson here kind of validates what people are saying. It's that they're a championship team this year. Like, they have championship makeup. I think LSU is kind of the opposite of that right now in my mind. Yes, they're a sleeper to win the SEC. They've got a really tough schedule. So if they can run the table a little bit and pick up 10, 11 wins, they'll be in a good position to make a playoff. But I don't think they're a national championship type of team, even with Nussmeier at quarterback. Versus the flip side of that, I think Clemson is that national championship caliber.
Get ready to learn Whit Weeks.
Get ready. He was
Number 40.
He was all conference last year in the SEC.
All American.
Learn them.
This year.
You gotta relearn them.
You haven't learned them yet.
No,
was just a rough draft.
Brandon has three factors. I got one factor, and it's Dabo Swinney. I think as much as Brian Kelly could lose this game, Dabo Swinney has an absolutely massive impact on the way that his players play. And I'll be damned if he's not in his boys' year this week leading up to the game, talking about 2019, 2020 CFP losing to Joe Burrow, and even going all the way back to the first time that LSU and Clemson ever played, and LSU's winning that game, and them taking the name Death Valley and applying it to their own from Clemson. I guarantee you that Dabo's letting somebody on the Clemson roster hear that and fire him up with that.
I mean, I think Brian Kelly's done a little bit of it too. I don't think I've always been a huge fan of not giving away bulletin board material. Like I thought about it, like everybody talked about in 2020, Clemson played Ohio State, and Dabo went out and said that he didn't have Ohio State ranked in the top 10 because they'd only played 6 games. And look what happens. Clemson goes out and loses by 3 touchdowns. Like, I just don't think it's smart to be giving away bulletin board material because in a big game like this, because you just, especially like going on the road, and Brian Kelly's been sitting out there like, oh, like we'll let him borrow the name Death Valley Jr., blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't see the reason, like, to be fair, people say like going and playing a night game in LSU is probably the craziest environment that those players have ever played in. And I'm not saying that it's wrong, but if you're just looking at statistics of who wins more at home based on schedule, based on whatever, Clemson wins more games at home. Like, and so like, there's really no need for that argument. Like, I'm always going to say that Clemson's the real Death Valley. LSU fans are always going to say LSU's the real Death Valley. I don't think there needs to be one game to decide it, but I don't think it's necessarily smart of Brian Kelly to go out there and say all this stuff that's just going to be relayed to Clemson players, and they're all just going to hear it.
Fuel to a fire that Brian Kelly can't control. It'd be different if he was finding a way to fire up his own locker room, but he's giving the Clemson locker room free fuel right there. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think we can move on to picks. I've got Clemson in that.
I've got Clemson too, obviously.
What you got, Timmy?
I got my boys.
Timmy, is there going to be
if we hold up, because I know exactly what you're going to say, and yes, you're correct. But
so every single time we pick a Clemson game this year and we talk about it here, are you going to pick them to lose?
Probably.
Okay.
But Brian Kelly usually sucks week 1. LSU usually sucks week 1. I think they've lost the past 5 week 1s. This is the year. They're turning it around. They're turning it around.
Just love the confidence in your pick there. Take the team that and then immediately give stats on why they should lose. That's genius. I'm taking Clemson and that. So
Sweet.
Cool. Okay. Well, next big matchup, Notre Dame, Miami, in Coral Gables. I don't know. Carson Beck versus I don't know this. I don't remember this one.
CJ Carr, I think.
CJ Carr, yeah.
Show. I think this game has the most question marks out of any game this week.
It's got the most question marks and the most history, which is interesting.
I think this game, I think it's going to come down to which quarterback makes less mistakes. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm taking Carson Beck
That's insane.
to make less mistakes.
That's insane.
I feel the same way. I feel the exact same way.
I don't like Carson Beck. I don't trust him at all. But I know more about Carson Beck than I do about CJ Carr.
I get that, and I get that you want to go with experience, somebody who knows a good system coming from Georgia and learning under Kirby Smart, and now he's getting to apply that to a system where he gets a little bit more freedom with what he does. But I almost think that kind of backfires against him this week, going up against a defensive unit that, while they don't have the same talent that they had last year, and they definitely look on paper like they've regressed, I think it's still going to be a good squad that Carson Beck has to go up against. And the fact that Beck has experience and now he thinks that he has more freedom to make plays happen, I think it's going to hurt him more than it'll help him in this matchup.
That's too roundabout of a way to say.
Yeah, that was
succeed. There was.
I'll just go.
That was a big circle.
That was the circle. I'll go straight through the circle. I'll say Carson Beck is not going to be very good in this game. I think CJ Carr won't have an overwhelming game whatsoever. I think he'll be just average.
But CJ Carr won't have an overwhelming game because they're going to give the ball to the best running back in the country over and over and over until Miami can stop it, which I don't know if they will.
I don't know if they will.
Miami has
winning this game based on just Miami's front seven not being disciplined or good enough to stop the run, and Jeremiah Love just being that dude. But I think that you're going to have to score a good amount of points to beat Miami. They're returning a good amount of their production from last year. Obviously, at the three key positions, they're replacing Xavier Strepo, Cam Ward, and their Martinez is their running back, I believe. So I get you're replacing the big positions, but the rest of the wide receiver core is there. Their backup running back is back. Their offensive line is returning. Obviously, it's a big difference between the number one pick in the draft last year and Carson Beck. But I still think Miami does it. Plus, I think Miami can run the ball against Notre Dame's front seven. So that will kind of balance out Jeremiah Love's effect. But yeah, I take Carson Beck's experience, first game of the year being this big against CJ Carr's.
Yeah, I hope that Miami and Mario Cristobal are smart enough that their philosophy going into this game is that they're just going to put 7 or 8 guys in the box and just make CJ Carr beat them. And if he can, and he goes out and like you said, if he's just manageable and is able to get the guys out to his talent and just keep drives going. I mean, Jeremiah Love is good enough to score. They're not going to completely just take him out of the game, but I think that if you get into a scenario where all of a sudden they're loading the box and Jeremiah Love really just doesn't it's not necessarily him, it's just that they're taking it away, then if CJ Carr
they're gonna load the box and make CJ Carr prove that he can sling the rock. 100%.
And if he can't, I just don't see this Notre Dame offense really getting anything going.
I agree, because I think if you're Mario Cristobal and you're sitting there and you're coming up with your defensive scheme for this game, you're circled is Jeremiah Love. You're not circling CJ Carr. Like
Yeah.
I think he's going to be very good this year. Like I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but like people are gonna circle Jeremiah Love every single game. He's by far the best player on their team. He's their best. He's gonna be their offensive production.
He's
So,
going to be the best player on the field in
Yeah.
10 out of probably like
You're-
10 or
they're
11 out of the 12 games they
They're gonna
play.
load the box. They're gonna have heavy fronts in there to stop the run. Like he's gonna have to, for Notre Dame to win this game, he's gonna have to make a couple big third down throws, in my opinion, where the box is loaded to protect the run on like a 3rd and 4, a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, somewhere in that. And I think he's gonna have to make some big throws. And I think Carson Beck's gonna have to do the same thing. And I've seen, even though last year wasn't pretty, I've seen Carson Beck do that. I haven't seen CJ Carr do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a little insight. Mark Smith's insight into this game is that he had me look up what necessarily the random number would be on a random website around a 2-touchdown win for the Irish, and that's what he would take. So that was
Wow,
Mark.
Mark.
That was the Mark Smith insight into this
What's
into
the
this game.
probability of that happening?
Somewhere around like
Plus,
plus
What is-
310, I think.
I mean, I don't know
What
if that, but that sounds
What does
about right.
plus mean?
Well, not like
I'm 23. I'm graduated. Let's throw some bread on it.
Yeah, Mark Smith. For those of you that are above the age of 21 and aren't NCAA athletes, Mark Smith's insight is Notre Dame minus 13.5.
that's bold. I mean,
That is bold.
That's,
like
yeah.
I like it.
I don't hate it. I think this game's going to be very tight, and I want Notre Dame to win. But I mean, if I'll give first pick, I think Miami comes out on top. I think Carson Beck somehow finds a way to win this game. But if Miami's defense can just somewhat stop the run, I think they win this game.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. There's a lot of question marks around Notre Dame being able to move the ball without Jeremiah Love, unless Miami cannot stop him worth anything. If Miami can limit Jeremiah Love, then it's all up to CJ Carr. But I am more than just a Carson Beck non-believer. I'm a Carson Beck hater as of now. So I'm gonna go with the Fighting Irish.
That's also fair. I don't like the guy either.
He just pisses me off, dude.
I'm not his face. He's got a punchable face.
He
looks-
does.
Not look like a football player.
No, he does not.
He looks like somebody that you would be scared to see on a sidewalk.
Yeah, I got Miami. I hate Carson Beck too, but I think they're going to load up to stop the run. And even though it's not necessarily a huge home field advantage, it is at home. I think they'll load up to stop the run. I think there's hype around Miami right now, which when there's hype around Miami, the fans show out at least a little bit. So I think that they'll load up to stop the run and it'll give them a chance. And I think they'll be able to win that game. I think, again, it'll be close. I agree. I don't agree with 13.5. I don't see that happening, but
Timmy?
I got Notre Dame. Just think Miami's stupid and they suck. So I don't know. After Cam Ward leaving and all of their other good offensive players just got waived, I think I'm starting to realize that Cam Ward was just disgusting, and that Miami literally just has
Did their
nothing.
running back get dropped too? Martinez?
Yeah, Martinez got waived. I don't know what happened today, but he got waived.
I know his
Restrepo is on the practice squad of the Titans. Who is
Safe for him.
was Arroyo? Did Arroyo get drafted this year or last year?
I think this year.
I can't remember.
He's on the Seahawks, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
I just don't think their offense is. I think their offense is completely new, so it depends. You really don't know.
All
Fair
right.
enough.
I think next biggest game of the weekend, hype wise, probably don't spend a ton of time on it, but Florida State Bama. I think we
Oh,
all
my
can
goodness.
pretty
Bama's
confident
going to boat race them.
Yeah.
Bama's going to win that game.
I
think we're all in
predict Bama
agreement.
will win that by more than 2 touchdowns.
Well, that would be what the random number is. The random number would in effect be 13.
Just the number, just that in the sky. If you just look up, it just
Look
shows
up.
up.
It just
I saw that the number for that game is the same as the number for the Tennessee Syracuse game, and they're both around what would be 2 touchdowns.
Let's go. Red Sox won, by the way, in case anybody cares. Just
Nope.
The Braves
huge win.
did not give the Marlins consent
That
today.
too,
I'll just put it that way. The Marlins were not the Marlins didn't give consent and the Braves didn't care. So that was pretty cool.
That's college football. Bama. I think Ty Simpson might struggle a little bit at the beginning of this game, but Alabama's defense is just going to absolutely take. I feel like Alabama's defense is going to have at least 2 turnovers. They're going to go in there. They're going to shut Florida State down. I mean, Thomas Castellanos.
It's going to be.
You guys were talking about earlier about like fueling the fire. Like Thomas Castellanos needs to shut up. Like him talking all this is crazy.
They're gonna get killed. We don't even need to talk about this game anymore. They're just they're so outmatched.
I think clean sweep for us, Bama over Florida.
Yes.
If we're talking about consent in the Braves game, we could move on to the Northwestern and Tulane game with Jake Retzlaff getting a new team.
Tulane, baby.
What a transition.
I know Tulane opens up at -4.5, so that's interesting.
I did see that he might be questionable for chlamydia though.
That's
So
I
saw it on Twitter. I saw it on
Definitely
Twitter.
not.
Everything on Twitter is true.
Dude, AJ Brown just went 6th overall in my fantasy draft. Just letting you guys know.
AJ Brown plays professional sports. We just talk about college here. So
Sorry.
Yes, campus clubhouse. I don't think AJ Brown.
Yeah, I think we all think Tulane.
I hope he's not.
Yeah, I got Tulane.
Let's be honest, he probably is.
back to actually decent games. I think this game is actually gonna be the closest game.
Decent games. Let's talk about NC State ECU, the battle of North Carolina.
That's a good game. It's
Gonna be fun, dude. Like I'm excited. The Twitter banter is awesome because it's just like we both suck, but you guys suck more than we suck.
Jay Bailey is better than whoever the hell ECU's quarterback is, so they're gonna win. Even though I really want ECU to win.
But Luke Lowry said that ECU has a chance.
Rhino doesn't. Do you mean college football?
Do you mean 15th rounder Luke Lowry, or 14th?
Pretty sure
elite baseball player.
6th rounder, dude.
No.
I got it.
Let's. This is what we have Google for.
Draft spot.
Oh,
14th.
yeah, I lied. 14th.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks.
That's our guy, though. That's our guy.
Yeah, no, I think I really want East Carolina to win because I don't like NC State, but
your dad went to ECU. So
yeah, that's why I like East Carolina, but I'm just
I don't like NC State either. I don't see that happening. But
I just think it's gonna be an exciting game because
it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's just a fun game, and being from North Carolina, that a lot of those fans live here. So
idiotic fan bases.
They're so stupid. Like ECU fans are literally, if someone's an ECU fan, that means their IQ is like maximum 15.
Yeah,
like unless they were in the nursing school, which I think is good.
Okay.
Yeah. Avoid that
All right.
question.
Can we get back to actual football games?
Yeah.
What I was saying earlier was I think
you want to talk about real football games?
Auburn Baylor, I think is going to be the closest game this weekend.
That's not a real football game. Let's bounce back to week 0. Just a quick shout out. NC Central got a win over Southern. HBCU kickoff. Shout out to the boys from Durham. But we can. Oh yeah, you want to talk about Auburn and Baylor?
I think Auburn Baylor is. I think right now it's like a 2.5 point spread. I think this is going to be the best game of the weekend. Just strictly off, not like hype or anything, but like the actual game. I think it's going to be tight the whole way. I think it's going to be good football with 2 decently pretty good quarterbacks again, both experienced. I'm pretty sure it's at Baylor too, which in my opinion really helps Baylor here. But yeah, so I think it's going to be a very good game.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Easily the most, I don't know how to put this. It's not the best matchup on the slate because we have 3 top 10 matchups. Yes, but I think this is going to be the best overall game for a college football fan to watch because both of these teams know how to play football and have proven quarterbacks at the helm. Obviously, Auburn's got Oklahoma transfer Jackson Arnold, so it's a new offense for him. But the kid can play. Like, he was a 5-star, so he knows what he's doing.
And the receivers at Auburn are good.
Yeah,
they're gross.
they got
They're
the Singleton kid from Georgia Tech.
And Cam Coleman.
Yeah.
Who was a kind of freshman breakout last year. So,
I mean, in my opinion, I think it being at Baylor, Sawyer Robinson ending the year very well last year. Jackson Arnold, new system on the road. Even though he's like experienced, he's done it at Oklahoma. I think Baylor wins because of that. And I also don't think Hugh Freeze is meant for Auburn. I just don't think I think he might get fired at the end of this year. Losing this game would be a bad start to the year for sure. I think people would start to talk about it if they lose this game. But yeah.
I would really like to see Auburn kind of rise back to that national contender level because it makes that Iron Bowl game so much better.
I think Auburn will actually be solid this year. I think Jackson Arnold is a good player.
This game helps them a lot. If they win this game, I think that gives them a lot of momentum going into the rest of the year, especially the conference schedule.
Yeah, I like Jackson Arnold. I like the receivers. I think they're really talented.
Yeah, I love Auburn.
Yeah, I like Auburn. I pick Auburn.
I'm going Baylor.
I said Baylor as well.
Yeah.
Auburn is going to sling the rock. Baylor's secondary's trash. They got the best. Auburn might have a top 5 wide receiver core in the country.
Honestly, I think I was literally just going to pick the home team.
Is that a hot take?
Duo. Top 5 wide receiver duo. I wouldn't
go. Not core. I wouldn't go entire core. But yeah, duo.
I think duo's fair to say.
I think they'll
it's
both.
A good, it's a good duo.
They'll both have close to 100 yards, and one of them will have a touchdown or two, and I think that's why they win the game. So,
yeah, we can go on to that Monday night game.
UNC.
Go ahead, give your insight.
Yeah, I'll give my insight.
I picked TCU.
Gio Lopez is starting for the North Carolina Tar Heels. I think that's a foolish mistake by Bill Belichick. I would love to see Bryce Baker at some point on Monday. Gio's not my guy personally. Don't think his game's going to fit into a Belichick system, but I'm not the greatest football coach of all time either, so I don't really know shit. And Bill does. So
fair point.
It'll be a fun game. I guarantee you that stadium has a bunch of empty seats on a Monday night, especially in the student section.
God, I wish we could go.
I know it's gonna suck. I'm picking UNC.
He does not believe in that pick whatsoever.
I am also
he has zero
basically forfeiting my perfect record on picks because I'm gonna go perfect on.
You already did. You picked Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's interested to watch this game. Just Bill Belichick, the story around that.
Also, I just like watching football.
Well, yeah, but like obviously it's a big story, and and I think. I agree with Ben. I don't think Gio Lopez is very good. I think
we can't put that in here.
Wait, there's no.
You won't be able to see it.
There's no.
Ethan wasn't talking when he did it.
There's no way I took UNC.
You sent that in your when you sent me.
Wrong.
I'll change it if you want me to change it. But that is 100%. Go look at the text and go look what you sent me.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I can't.
Switching up live on pod.
Well,
is
yeah,
insane.
I can't pick this ratty ass, ugly ass, blue ass school. I can't do that.
I thought you were just being nice to your girlfriend.
I'm not gonna lie. I did look at that earlier, and I was just like, "Wow, look at that."
No, here it is: Ohio State, Oregon State, UNC in your text.
Yeah, no, give me TCU.
Okay.
Shout out Tice.
Timmy Cotton University, let's go, baby. I took TCU as well.
I also took TCU.
Wait, now I'm definitely taking TCU. I didn't even think about that. Hell yeah.
I'm the lone UNC pick.
And you don't even believe in it.
I don't even believe in it.
Yeah. TCU any good? Do we know?
But boy, will I be happy if we win.
They
TCU
were
got,
3 years ago.
TCU got a
They'll
good
be
defense.
solid.
It doesn't matter.
Is your defense gonna be good?
No.
I think they're gonna be like okay this year. I believe. I think.
We got
I don't know. Ask Tice.
we got
Ask
decent
Tice.
players in the secondary. We got some pretty good corners. We got
Josh Hoover.
we got Marcus Allen. He'll be good for a couple of pass breakups.
The Hall of Famer.
Yeah. And then he'll probably give one up over the top for like a 70-yard
Yeah,
touchdown.
TCU's quarterback set their single season passing yards record last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how good he is or who they played at all.
What's his name?
Josh Hoover.
True.
I will
like-
say the random number on this game is I like a lot, and it's a field goal in the favor of the Horned Frogs.
I do like that. I will say that a lot of hype. There's going to be a lot of media coverage at that game. ACC Network's going to be there. I'm pretty sure ESPN's sending a crew to be there. That hasn't happened in a long time for Carolina football.
It's exciting.
It'll be
see how they.
I mean, I'll be
We're
good.
gonna quickly find out that they suck. But it's okay.
Yeah, and then the last game, or not the last game we're to talk about, but one of the other ones is California or Cal versus Timmy's favorite school in the whole world, Oregon State. So,
Malik Murphy.
Timmy, you want to start this one?
Yeah, I got Cal. I think Oregon State sucks. I think I'm not gonna say that, but the campus should just vanish. Should just disappear. That's all I gotta say.
Nice. No.
I think Cal lost their two best players last year, and Jay
Doesn't
Knott.
matter. It's still Oregon State. They suck.
They
They're
lost-
stupid.
They lost Jay Knott and Fernando Mendoza. So I just
Did you see it was the kid that went to Cal that beefed up like 20 pounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got jacked. Yeah.
So Cal does steroids.
Well, they have at least
all of
one
their
strong
players-
guy that we know of.
They put all of their players on anabolic steroids and peptides. So
Is that like a known thing?
if you
Or
look
are you
at
just
if,
accusing?
No,
them?
they had some dude transfer in, and it was like I don't know what the time frame was, but it was pretty
Just
short, and he
6
got like
months, and he got jacked.
jacked and like 20 pounds of muscle.
That doesn't happen naturally.
Well,
so
I really like Malik.
hey Ben,
Murphy.
quick shout out North Carolina. Or Marion Hampton is going to be really good this year. Just letting you know.
Shut up, we're talking about a different game.
You
you
just
picked
took
him.
him
Yeah,
in
you
his
just picked him in the fantasy draft.
Yeah.
He
We're
will be.
talking about the
Uh,
future ACC champion Cal.
That
When
feels
we come to Charlotte, we're taking that flag from the ACC building. It
We're
pisses
taking
me
it
off, dude.
back to the actual game. I do think Malik Murphy is actually a very good or a very above average NCAA quarterback. So I think he's going to have a good year at Oregon State. I mean, he was very good for us at Duke last year. Kind of had a bad situation, and I get him leaving. Unfortunately, I didn't want it to, but I get him leaving with everything that happened over there at Duke. But I think he's good. I think he easily wins this game. Oregon State's won its last 4 home openers as well. That's actually I feel like an underrated spot for football games. I think they get good crowds a good amount of the time. So I think they win just on Malik Murphy's talent, and I think their defense isn't bad either. So
Yeah, I agree. I got Oregon State. I think Cal lost. Like I said, Cal lost their two best players. Their whole offense last year felt like it revolved around Jay Knott at the running back position, and then obviously Fernando Mendoza transferred. So, I think, like you said, I think Malik Murphy is a good player. I think he was good at Duke last year. I was kind of surprised that he left. But
situation, I feel like I would have left too.
yeah,
But I think it also helps that it's in Corvallis. So
Yes.
I got the Beavers.
okay. One more
Corvallis
game
is dumb.
that I kind of want to get into, just because I think it's an interesting matchup that we probably all have picked the same way, but I think it is interesting, is the South Carolina-Virginia Tech matchup down there in Atlanta in a neutral site.
Heisman.
Shut up.
It's my Heisman pick.
Oh, okay.
No, he's not. He's not.
Oh,
It's a fun one. It's a fun, frisky one,
like
but he's just
Fun to watch.
Yeah,
I think Virginia Tech is terrible. I don't.
Yeah.
I
They
I think
suck.
I don't
Yeah.
think they're going to be that bad. Being completely honest, I don't think Drones was healthy at all last year.
Well,
I
no,
don't
he
think
he
that
wasn't.
matters,
He
to be
wasn't. But
honest.
I mean, that's a fair point, Smitty. He was not. I mean, he played in what 10? Did he play in 10 games?
He played in a ton of games, but half the games he
Yeah.
played in, he looked
Yeah,
horrible
no.
because he
was
just couldn't move.
He's definitely playing injured, playing hurt, 100%. Missed a couple games with injury. But I just don't think he's very. I mean, he was terrible when they played at Duke, and I was there for that game, so I saw that he was awful. I just don't think they're very good. I think Lenore Sellers is really, really, really good. I think their front seven, South Carolina's too, just like their front seven alone can win the game with how much pressure they're gonna get.
You're talking about one player.
I mean, they have some depth behind him.
They're returning 2 starters in the front 7.
So they have one depth behind him.
I think I think South Carolina is going to win the game. I don't think it's necessarily going to be close. I think Virginia Tech is going to be able to move the ball, but I don't think there's any chance they stop that offense.
It is, to me, the random number that's generated by random websites online is 7.5, and I think South Carolina easily wins by more than 1 touchdown.
I know, I agree. I think it's interesting. I think Virginia Tech will be able to move the ball. I think it's I think it's also a little bit of a coming out party for South Carolina. They're kind of talking like they want to make the playoff and be up there with the big schools.
Shot to.
And they have a shot, but I think they got to come out hot. I think this is like they have some pretty hard games early on in the year. I think they just can't look over this game and just be like, oh, we're just going to beat them off talent. So also a little interesting kind of side story to that, Shane Beamer coaching against his dad's former school. He was the coach at Virginia Tech for a long time. I think that's always interesting to see stuff like that happen. But I mean, like I said, I got South Carolina by at least 10 points. But I think it could be an interesting game to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm going to go South Carolina. I texted Eric and I said, what do you think about VT football? For those of you who don't know, Eric is a Virginia Tech fan. He said they're going to suck like always. Can't wait to win 6 games and go to a stupid bowl game. So that's Eric's insight on the season.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. I think there's a couple more games that I just want to, we can just gloss over them, but I definitely want to, mention them. Utah at UCLA, Nico's debut in blue and gold. And he is not the favorite to win that game. Utah is favored by almost a touchdown, which is interesting to me, given that it's at UCLA. It's in the Rose Bowl. And I don't necessarily have a lot of faith in Utah to be a really good team.
Crazy that that's not a Pac-12 game anymore.
I know.
That just pisses
It's
me
nuts.
off.
Big 12, Big 10 matchup
That pisses me
is
off.
insane.
Makes no sense.
Zero.
And then my fun contribution for this pod is some FCS games. One that occurred earlier this week, but technically it never did because they went to a weather delay and
Did it
declared
happen?
test. Yeah, did
There's
it happen?
no record.
They
It
actually
never happened.
there's no stats online. You can't get a box score on any major website.
It's crazy.
But number 7 UC Davis versus number 11 Mercer was gearing up to be an absolutely awesome game in the fourth quarter. Mercer was down the whole game. They looked awful. Finally started picking up steam in the latter half of the third quarter, and by the fourth quarter, they got the ball back with 8 minutes to go and looked like they were gonna tie the game up. On the flip side of that, UC Davis's freshman quarterback Caden Pinnock looked like one of the best athletes in the country, regardless of level. He was an absolute stud in a game that never happened. Another FCS game that was fun in week 0 was the Incarnate Word and Nichols game. Number 4 seeded Incarnate Word lost, looked awful. Their quarterback threw 3 picks, gave the ball away on a fumble too, I think. And Nichols completely took advantage of it in a Southland Conference game to open up the year, which is interesting to me that that's a conference game to start the season before a lot of big matchups. And then the one game that I have this week highlighted is national runner-up Montana State is in Eugene to face the Oregon Ducks week 1. So, Timmy, watch out.
Smoking them, killing them. They're not even getting past the 50.
I will say, Timmy, sometimes Oregon is very slow in their first
week 1. They're always sus. I know last year they played, I think, Idaho. They played Idaho, and it was really weird. Barely won, and then they barely beat Boise State. That was before
Ashton Genty. They barely beat
that's
Ashton
like
Genty.
when people realized Ashton Genty was like who he
So
is.
good.
So,
Yeah.
Slow start wouldn't surprise me, but they're probably going to beat them by 97. And then, Dante Moore is just going to.
No, his balls are not going to be very good this week. He's going to be.
He's going to be
They're going to be good.
Wobbly.
We also never talked about Naeem Offord, the DB. He's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Like a really good athlete.
Good analysis.
Yes. Good athlete.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we can transition to kind of like how we're gonna end this one, and it's gonna be which ones do y'all want to pick? Obviously, Heisman,
national championship, and I think we can
end it at that.
Should we pick like our group of 5 pick for the CFP?
I
think that'd be fun.
I don't.
But Brandon vetoes that.
Well, we can go Heisman. I think it's gonna be Jeremiah Smith personally. That's completely
I had him. I'm not gonna. He wasn't like who I was gonna take, but I was gonna say like he would be, in my opinion, the best value prediction, and I definitely see him being in New York, 100%.
Yeah, I just think he's so talented, and he's going to have to do so much on this offense this year with an inexperienced quarterback that he's just like, I think he's going to be a guy that give it to him on swing passes. He might run a jet sweep, and then not to mention that he's probably still going to run 5 go balls a game, and I'd say he's going to win
a touchdown on one of them.
I'd say he's going to win at least 3 of those matchups and probably score touchdowns. So I just think that offense is going to be so revolved around him with the little bit of question they have losing the talent, that his stats are just going to be ridiculous. And I think Ohio State's going to be really good too. So I think that helps.
Yeah, I agree.
Going Garrett Nussmeier. LSU quarterbacks are always very good. I feel like they're just due for. It's been a while. They're due for one. It's been 2 years.
I like these picks so far. I don't hate it.
No, I feel like they just always produce quarterbacks, whether or not they have a good team. So, maybe they might not be the best team. I think they will be, but I think he's going to be a stud and like a top 10 pick. And I'm not saying I think he's like a dark horse, but I don't want to pick Jeremiah Smith, Arch Manning. So
I think he's second right now. Actually,
yeah,
he is.
I know, but I feel like those are just Jeremiah Smith, Arch Manning, like 2 huge names. So,
Ben,
yeah, I have 2 kind of.
Well, only one person can win it.
Yeah, only one person will win. I think Cade Klubnik will win it. If I was a predicting man, I would consider predicting Jeremiah Love to be in New York. Very, very good odds to get Jeremiah Love right now. If you had gotten in like June, July for Klubnik, you would have gotten better odds than it's at now. He's kind of been climbing, but I think it's his year. He's gonna put up stupid numbers. It helps that he has his 2 best weapons back on the perimeter, and then obviously like between him and some of the other Heisman candidate quarterbacks right now, like Arch Manning, Garrett Nussmeier, Sellers, Lagway, he's 100% got the easiest schedule out of them to put up stupid numbers. So
yeah.
It should be his year.
Yeah. I hate to do it, but I am in agreement with Timmy. I think.
Why do you hate that?
Because
why do you hate that?
Well, I wanted it to be like 4 different picks, but
that's fair.
I do think Garrett Nussmeier is going to win, and I think his schedule sets up decently nice where he doesn't play like a lot of the top end defenses in the SEC. I think his biggest 2 tests will obviously be this weekend and then Alabama. Those are going to be two very good defenses. But other than that, I think his schedule plays decently where he can have some nice stats. And then I do think between the two athletes in the SEC who play quarterback, one of them might have a good shot. Between the Norris Sellers and DJ Lagway, I think they could both win it. Because
Lagway's kind of, I don't know what his odds are, but he's kind of my dark horse.
I like.
I think he's
I don't
crazy.
think Norris Sellers is gonna pan out to have like the
No.
best year.
I just think they're gonna lose 3 games, and it's just hard.
He'll be really fun to
Listen,
watch.
Like,
Yeah,
He's
him
definitely
against
gonna put up
Clemson
more
last year
numbers
is like,
than-
no, sorry, Smitty, but like
that
that
was
was
awesome. That
like,
was,
unreal.
that was awesome.
Couldn't
And the fact that
tackle
you like Clemson made it even more awesome because it was awesome, dude.
So
We go national
yeah,
championship
Natty
pick now.
Lights, Yeah,
Oh boy. Smitty, you want to lead us off?
yeah. I mean,
Don't
no,
do it.
do it.
Don't.
I'm
do
riding
it.
with my boys. I think this is the best shot that we're gonna have with the talent and how everything's lined up. I think Dabo's been kind of building towards this year. I think we have one of the most talented rosters in the country. Experienced quarterback, experienced receivers, 3 top 20 picks on the defensive side of the football. Just talent wise, it stacks up as one of the best rosters in the country. I think that. I mean, in the game right now, you have 3 active head coaches who have won national championships, and I think that Dabo, people have kind of counted him out because of how everything's gone the last couple of years. I think he's still a very high quality head coach, and I think it's kind of like he's kind of just built up to this year, and they're in a good spot. I like the boys to be able to get it done, but
not surprised.
I think they'll.
That was the
I
most
think they'll.
I've ever heard in my whole life. But
Okay. I think they'll beat Ohio State in the national championship game. That's my pick. I think Ohio State is also gonna
I
be
really
really
that you
good.
went and picked your boys because I'm right there with you. Clemson's my national championship pick as well,
Wow.
which sucks to like say out loud because
Bro went
I don't
Klubnik
wanna-
and Clemson.
yeah,
Smitty, you might have.
I don't want to be a Clemson
I mean,
truther,
wow.
but like this is 100% their most talented roster in the past couple years. Easily have one of the easiest paths to a top 4 seed. And then on top of that, like the more and more that NIL becomes a part of the sport, the less you find programs like Clemson where culture is such a big deal and winning is such a big deal outside of the money making aspect. So I kind of like it.
That's a good point. I don't hate that point. Timmy?
I'm gonna rock with Texas. I know I said Ohio State week 1, but
I mean, I don't
Yeah,
think that affects Texas championship.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like with a 12-team playoff,
Yeah.
you can lose one. Especially if you're losing to Ohio State at Ohio State week 1, like you can afford that loss. You can afford maybe a loss in the SEC championship, probably still make the playoffs. It's like a 10, 11, 12 seed, however it works. I know it changed. And then really, it's almost like baseball now. You just got to get hot at the right time, which I believe Ohio State would have won it last year regardless, but they were hands down the hottest team in the country. And I
Yeah.
could see Texas panning out that way. Give Arch some time to figure it out, and I could see Texas making a run at the end of the year and just being dominant.
I have 0. Alabama, I think it has a better shot than most people are giving them. I think that's going to depend on Ty Simpson, but their defense can 100% lead them to a championship. I think Ohio State can go back to back. Again, they have a quarterback question, so I'm not sold there. Georgia, same thing. I don't know about Gunnar Stockton. So like I don't want to take somebody that doesn't have a quarterback that I don't like trust. I can't take Penn State because I just don't trust Franklin. So like I'm in a real loss here. I think
Come on.
I'm
Come to
not
the dark side. Come to the dark side.
I hate to say it, but like everything that's adding up in my head, like look at Smitty's grin.
Yeah, he's great.
There's no way we're going 3.
Yeah, dude.
There's
I,
no way.
I physically can't do it in my body to pick Clemson. So I'm just gonna roll the dice and say it's gonna be another SEC team. So I'll pick between Texas, Georgia, and Ohio State. or and Alabama, I mean, and I'll go. Give me Georgia.
Wrong.
Give me Georgia.
Wrong.
I think it's gonna be Georgia or Texas. I really do. I think it's gonna be. I want to take Texas, but Timmy already picked Texas, so I'll take Georgia. I really want to do Ohio State, but I just hate them so much.
I hate Ohio State so much. The worst.
Yeah, I'll take.
They're really good at football. They're so good.
I'll take Georgia.
All right. Yeah.
I have zero confidence in that whatsoever. That actually makes me so excited for college football season that I can't pick a college football winner because I actually think that
this is a wide open field.
There's a lot of good teams.
This is a wide open field right now. I legitimately think we've never, in the past couple of years, we haven't had this top heavy of a field, but so wide open amongst those 6 teams that legitimately have a national championship shot. I think realistically, you look at the country as a whole right now. You got Clemson, you got Bama, you got Georgia, you got Ohio State, you got Penn State,
Texas.
You got Texas. That's it for me.
Yeah.
You got 6 teams that have a legit shot winning a national championship. Everybody else, even though one of them might end up a top 4 seed, I realistically don't think they have a chance at making it all the way to late January now.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I think the other thing with obviously Clemson's schedule lines up the best if there is any potential for them to do something crazy and go 16-0. I think theirs is probably the only schedule that really lines up in the path that I think it's possible. Just because the conference they don't really need to. There's a good chance that they don't play a single ranked team in conference if things fall a certain way. Really, I mean the only one on their schedule right now that's ranked is SMU.
Yeah.
And so if all of a sudden SMU drops a game.
I just pulled up the schedule and I don't like that at all. I don't. I'm switching. Give me Texas.
Okay, so we're 2-2. Texas and Clemson.
Give me Texas. Sorry, Timmy.
That's
Texas has the best.
2 teams that matched up in the first round of CFP last year are 2 national championship picks.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be.
How would you feel playing Texas in the championship?
Feel better about it this year than I would last year.
This is in the championship. That means Arch Manning is him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if Clemson's in the championship, that means we learned how to stop the run.
Oh my gosh! Shut up, bro.
We didn't lose to Texas last year because Quinn Ewers threw the ball over the yard. We gave up 300 yards of rushing.
Well, maybe recruit athletes. Ever tried that?
That is the goal. So
yeah.
Well, I think that's all we've got for this week. We'll circle back around next week after the first weekend of games. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about. It's going to be a lot of sitting on the couch and watching ball this weekend for the group. Maybe we'll put out something on Saturday.
That'll be so fun. Let's do it.
Saturday night, be on the lookout on social media. We could potentially have some going. Maybe Smitty can give us a boots on the ground report in Death Valley. And,
on Instagram, we go no, not Instagram Live. Can't do that.
I'm not going live.
That's probably not a good idea.
Definitely not a good idea. But maybe Smitty can swing his way down into the press conference or something, get some Brian Kelly remarks after.
That'd be awesome.
But no, it'll be a fun pod next week. We'll talk about week 2, which is underwhelming in terms of just the look of it so far.
It's underwhelming in terms of
it's
ranked
just that
matchups.
Week 1 is just so good. I think,
but there's some. I think there's still some interesting out of conference matchups. Iowa State should be fun.
Yeah, Michigan, Oklahoma is looking like the big game.
Yeah, that's the big one. But
but
SMU plays Baylor in a little in Texas
rivalry. Especially if they beat Auburn.
2 Texas teams as well. There'll be some blood there, but. We'll get into that next week. We'll probably talk a little bit more about FCS just because I want to. But yeah,
give FCS schools some love.
Yeah,
the UC Davis Aggies.
Shout out
guy's name.
Uncle.
Okay, well that'll wrap it up. We'll see you guys next week.
So, yeah.